The ground shook as the alien fleet arrived. Massive ships blocked the sky, their shadows falling over the human colony. Captain Logan Hayes walked into the training area. His boots hit the metal floor, echoing against the walls. He carried no weapon. He had only his instincts and experience. The cubs waited. They were tall, muscular, their eyes sharp and alert. They hissed, claws scraping the floor. Other trainers tried to approach. They shouted and waved tools. The cubs ignored them. They circled, growled, and snapped. Logan did not move fast. He did not shout. He just walked. The cubs followed him with their eyes. One cub stepped forward. Its fur bristled. It lunged at another trainer. The trainer fell back, heart racing. Logan kept walking. Another cub tried to bite, but Logan dodged, moving like he had done this 1,000 times. Every step he took, the cubs measured him. They tested his courage, his strength, his mind. Logan stopped in the middle of the training ground. He crouched low, looking directly at the lead cub. The cub hissed, its tail flicking. Logan spoke in a low, calm voice. He did not order, he asked. He moved slowly toward the cub. Slowly, the cub stepped back. Logan did not strike. He only waited. Around them, the colony buzzed with activity. Engines roared in the distance. Fire burned along the horizon. Troops ran past carrying supplies and weapons. Everything smelled of metal, smoke, and heat. The cubs did not care. They only cared about the human in front of them. Hours passed. Logan moved among them, not touching, not forcing. He let them see his calm in the chaos. He let them sense his courage. Slowly, they circled him instead of attacking. Slowly, they mirrored his movements. One by one, the cubs sat down. Their claws left shallow marks in the floor. Their eyes stayed on Logan. One cub remained standing, taller and more dangerous than the rest. It growled low and stared at him. Logan did not flinch. He extended a hand, slowly, deliberately. The cub sniffed the air. Logan did not move closer. The cub made a sharp hiss and then, unexpectedly, sat down as well. The other cubs shifted closer. They pressed around him. Logan looked around. No other trainer had gained this much control. No one had earned this trust. The other humans watched, some with envy, some with disbelief. Suddenly, the ground shook again. The colony alarm rang. Red lights bathed the walls. Logan's cubs tensed. The lead cub's ears flattened. Logan turned. Outside the training dome, a massive shadow moved. It was bigger than any of the ships before. Its engines burned bright and black smoke poured into the sky. Something was coming. Something powerful. Logan rose. He kept his eyes on the cubs. They were ready. They trusted him, and he trusted them. A deep growl rolled from the largest cub. Logan felt it through his chest. It was not just fear. It was warning, a signal that the war was about to reach them. He clenched his fists. He was ready. Then a piercing screech echoed from above. The cubs leapt, agile and ready. Logan looked up. The new ship was descending fast. He realized that what was coming was not just a test. It was the first strike. The cubs were his only defense. He had to act now. The human and the cubs stood together as the shadow loomed over them. Logan's eyes met the lead cub's eyes. Both understood the danger. Both prepared for what was about to happen. The cubs hissed and crouched. Logan braced himself. The colony held its breath. And then, without warning, a massive beam of light hit the ground in front of them. The training ground erupted in fire and Logan was thrown backward, the cubs scattering in every direction. Logan hit the floor hard, his boots sliding across molten metal. Sparks flew from the impact. Smoke filled the dome. The cubs were scattered, their bodies tense, claws gripping the scorched floor. Logan shook off the pain. He rolled to his feet. His eyes scanned the ground. Every cub was alive. Some limped, some hissed at the fire, but none were gone. The beam of light had come from a ship hovering just outside. Its hull glinted with alien markings. Logan knew they had seconds to act. He shouted commands. The cubs responded, moving as one unit. Their trust in him was no longer simple obedience. They understood urgency, danger, and purpose. He grabbed a handheld scanner from the floor. It showed weak points in the alien ship's energy field. Logan's mind raced. He had to use the cubs strategically, not just as fighters. Their instincts could not be ignored. He signaled the lead cub. It darted forward, swift and silent. Others followed, moving with him, circling the dome's perimeter. Logan stayed behind cover, his hands steady on the scanner. The cubs leapt over debris, dodging fire, clawing through walls and metal. They were precise. They were deadly. From the control room, other trainers shouted. Most panicked. Logan ignored them. He focused on the cubs. One cub ran into a smoke-filled corridor, dragging a fallen human soldier to safety. Logan's heart clenched. He felt pride. He felt fear. He knew how fragile the moment was. Explosions shook the walls. Beams of alien fire cut across the dome. The cubs twisted and turned, each attack calculated. Logan used the scanner to mark weak points, signaling the cubs to strike. They responded instantly. They smashed panels, tripped circuits, and caused sparks to rain down on the attackers. Suddenly, the lead cub hesitated. Its fur bristled, eyes wide. Something moved in the shadows. Logan peered through the smoke. Another alien craft had landed inside the dome. It was smaller, faster, more vicious. The cubs circled it, growling. Logan clenched his fists. He knew this was a trap. The smaller alien drone fired a plasma shot. One cub dove and took the hit, yelping but surviving. Logan shouted, rushing forward. His body slammed against a wall, blocking another beam. He grabbed the fallen cub, dragging it to cover. The creature hissed, leaning into him as if trusting completely. A deep rumble shook the dome again. The alien ship above pulsed with energy. Logan realized they were drawing power for a second strike. He had seconds to act. The cubs circled him, their bodies low and tense. Logan felt their heartbeat as if it were his own. He knew they were ready to follow him anywhere, even into death. He grabbed a data pad and hacked the dome's security grid. Lights flickered, panels slid open. Fire suppression systems kicked in. Smoke turned into steam. The cubs moved through the chaos like shadows, taking down the intruders. Then Logan saw it. One cub, the one that had hesitated, was staring at something behind him. Its tail stiffened. Logan turned slowly. A shadow loomed in the corridor, moving faster than any alien they had seen. It was a predator, sent to test them, and it was coming straight for Logan. The cubs hissed and leapt forward. Logan tightened his grip on the scanner. Every muscle in his body tensed. He could feel the weight of the colony on his shoulders, the lives of his soldiers, and the trust of these creatures. If he failed, all of them would die. The predator moved closer, silent and deadly. Logan's heart raced. The cubs pressed around him, ready to attack. He realized they were no longer cubs. They were warriors, trained not by fear, but by trust in him. A shriek split the air. The predator charged. Logan took a deep breath and stepped forward into the path of danger, the cubs surging beside him. The battle was just beginning, and he had no choice but to fight with everything he had. The predator leapt through the smoke-filled corridor. Logan rolled forward, narrowly avoiding claws that could tear through metal. The cubs followed, their bodies low and fast. Logan grabbed a metal panel and swung it at the alien, striking it just enough to stagger it. The cubs attacked immediately, teeth and claws tearing into its armor. The predator hissed, retreating, but Logan knew it was not finished. Sirens blared throughout the dome. Red lights flashed across the walls. Logan called out orders, though most humans had already fled. The cubs responded instantly, covering him as he moved toward the control hub. He needed to isolate the intruders and protect the colony. Inside the control hub, screens flickered and alarms rang. Logan's hands worked quickly. He rerouted security drones to block the corridors, but the Predator was faster, smarter than he expected. It dodged, jumped, and attacked with lethal precision. Logan shouted, moving to intercept, diving between the Predator and a cub. One cub yelped, but Logan caught it before the Predator could strike. Suddenly, a metallic clang echoed. The saboteur revealed himself from the shadows, a human officer with a gun raised. His eyes were cold. He aimed at Logan. Logan froze for a fraction of a second, then rolled, pulling a cub with him. The shot missed, striking a panel that erupted in sparks. Logan realized the saboteur wanted the cubs dead, to weaken human control over them. The Predator hissed and leapt again. The cubs circled it, growling and snapping. Logan's mind raced. He could not fight both enemies alone. He called out a command. The cubs obeyed instantly, splitting into two groups. One group attacked the Predator, pinning it to the ground. The other blocked the saboteur, forcing him to retreat toward a corridor filled with fire. Logan ran, grabbing a fire extinguisher and spraying the flames, clearing the path for a cub that was trapped. Its body was scorched, fur smoking, but it pressed close to him, hissing in pain. Logan felt his chest tighten. Every cub was valuable, every life mattered. He had to survive this, for them and for the colony. The saboteur fired again. Logan dodged and threw a metal rod, striking the officer's arm. The gun clattered to the floor. The Predator roared, breaking free from one cub's grip. It lunged at Logan. The cubs surged forward, tackling the Predator to the ground. Teeth sank into armor, claws tore through plating. Logan saw the Predator's eyes widen in fear. The cubs did not stop. They had learned to fight with him, not for him. Logan turned and grabbed the data pad. He hacked the remaining security doors, sealing corridors and trapping the saboteur and the Predator. He looked at the cubs. They were breathing hard, bodies tense, but their eyes were on him. Trust had formed something stronger than training. They were a unit. They were family. A sudden rumble shook the dome. The alien ship above pulsed with energy again. Logan realized the saboteur had sent a signal. Reinforcements were coming. He clenched his fists. They had survived this round, but the real fight was still ahead. The largest cub approached Logan, its head low, eyes sharp. It hissed and pressed against him. Logan placed a hand on its head. He felt its strength, its fear, its loyalty. A bond had formed in fire and blood. He knew they could face anything together, but he also knew the price would be high. Then a screen flickered on the control panel. A message scrolled across it in alien symbols. Logan's heart sank. The Predator had not come alone. The message was clear. A fleet was on the move, larger than the one they had just faced. The cubs hissed, ears flat, bodies ready to strike. Logan gritted his teeth. The war was only beginning, and this time there would be no room for error. The sky above the colony burned red as the alien fleet approached. The human defenses opened fire, but the ships were fast and heavy. Logan climbed to the command deck, cubs at his side, bodies low and ready. Metal groaned under the strain of battle. Smoke choked the air. Every explosion rattled the walls. Logan assessed the situation. The fleet was larger than expected. Smaller strike ships darted between massive carriers, firing plasma into the ground defenses. Human soldiers were retreating, taking cover behind scorched metal and broken walls. Logan's jaw tightened. The cubs looked at him, alert and tense. They waited for his orders. He pointed toward a gap in the enemy formation. The cubs understood instantly. They darted through the broken ground, moving faster than any human could. Logan followed, dodging fire and debris. One cub leapt over a plasma strike, landing perfectly and pushing another cub out of danger. Logan felt a surge of pride. These creatures had become warriors in their own right. Explosions rocked the colony. Logan used the debris as cover, sliding across metal beams, signaling the cubs. They split into groups, flanking the alien troops. Human soldiers joined the attack, inspired by the Cubs' bravery. Together, they struck with speed and precision. Alien units fell back, stunned by the humans and Cubs working as one. Then a massive alien walker emerged from the horizon. It stomped through the streets, crushing buildings and sending humans flying. Logan cursed. He grabbed a Cub and sprinted up a collapsing corridor. The Cub leapt to a higher level, landing with ease. Logan followed, using his weight to pull a door closed, keeping the walker at bay for a moment. They regrouped on the roof. Logan scanned the battlefield. The Cubs moved instinctively, positioning themselves to strike weak points. Logan took a deep breath and ran, leading the charge. He dodged plasma fire, swung around metal poles, and kicked debris toward attacking drones. The Cubs followed, striking and retreating in perfect coordination. One Cub was hit by a stray blast. It yelped, rolling across the metal roof. Logan skidded to it, lifting it to safety. Its fur was singed, but it leaned into him, hissing defiantly. Logan felt anger, fear, and determination all at once. He had to win. He could not fail these creatures or the colony. A heavy shadow fell over them. The alien flagship descended, blocking the sun and sending a wave of heat down. Its engines shook the roof beneath them. Logan's Cubs hissed and crouched, tails stiff. He realized this was not just an attack. It was a siege, and he had seconds to act before the flagship unleashed a full strike. Logan made a quick decision. He pointed to the Cubs, signaling them to strike. They leapt into action, targeting the flagship's weak points. Logan ran alongside them, dodging falling debris and incoming fire. Explosions shook the deck, throwing him to the side. One Cub grabbed a dangling cable swinging across the rooftop to strike a critical panel. Sparks flew. A beam of light shot from the panel, hitting one of the alien carriers and exploding it in a blinding fireball. The human soldiers cheered. Logan's heart pounded. The Cubs were alive. The colony was holding, but the flagship remained. Its massive guns turned toward them, glowing with deadly energy. Logan realized they had won this battle, but the war was far from over. Then the ground shook violently. Logan stumbled, gripping the edge of the roof. One Cub hissed and pressed against him, sensing danger. A new sound rumbled through the air, a fleet of alien reinforcements descending from behind the mountains. Logan's stomach dropped. The fight was just beginning, and this time the enemy was more prepared than ever. Logan stood on the highest ridge, Cubs at his side, eyes fixed on the alien reinforcements approaching. The sky burned orange and red. Smoke and fire stretched across the horizon. Human soldiers scrambled below, setting up defenses and firing wherever they could. Logan's heart pounded. Every second counted. He signaled the Cubs. They split, running along different ridges, leaping over debris and striking at key alien positions. Logan followed, moving fast, dodging fire and helping humans trapped in the chaos. One Cub grabbed a fallen soldier and pulled him out of the line of fire. Logan felt a mix of fear and pride. They were no longer just Cubs. They were warriors, and they trusted him. Explosions shook the ground. Alien plasma tore through buildings. Logan dove, rolling past a column of fire, and landed beside the lead Cub. They pressed forward together, moving like a single unit. Soldiers followed, inspired by the Cubs' speed and skill. Logan shouted commands, but mostly they followed instinct, reacting faster than any human could. A massive alien walker stomped through the battlefield, crushing human defenses. Logan took a deep breath. He climbed onto a ruined wall and pointed. The Cubs split again, one group distracting the walker, the other moving to strike its weak points. Logan ran alongside them, dodging debris and fire. A Cub leapt onto the walker, tearing at a critical joint. Sparks flew. The machine faltered. Human soldiers seized the opportunity, firing everything they had. Logan moved through the chaos, saving a soldier trapped under rubble. The Cubs pressed around him, guarding and attacking. They fought not just with strength, but with instinct and intelligence. Logan's chest ached with exhaustion and adrenaline. Every moment was life or death. The alien flagship hovered above, massive and deadly. Its weapons glowed. Logan knew the colony could not withstand a full strike. He needed a plan. He signaled the Cubs to lure the smaller ships closer while he prepared an improvised explosive using the colony's energy core. The Cubs understood, their eyes sharp, bodies tense. They darted through the battlefield, dodging plasma fire, leaping from wreckage to wreckage. Logan followed, planting the explosive. His hands shook, but he did not falter. One cub pressed against him, sensing his fear and determination. He patted its head. They were in this together. The countdown ended. Logan triggered the explosion. A massive shockwave ripped through the battlefield. Alien ships were hit, their formations broken. The walker toppled. Smoke and fire engulfed the area. Logan and the Cubs pressed forward, striking at the disoriented enemy. The humans fought with renewed courage inspired by the teamwork of man and beast. The flagship wavered, but it did not fall. Logan knew the war was not over. He looked at the Cubs. They were battered, their fur singed, but their eyes burned with loyalty and courage. Logan felt a deep bond, stronger than any chain or weapon. Suddenly, a new shadow crossed the horizon. Another fleet, larger than before, moved into view. Logan's stomach tightened. He clenched his fists, feeling the weight of the colony and the lives of his Cubs. They had won this battle, but the war was far from over. The enemy was relentless, and he would need every ounce of courage and strategy to survive. He looked at the Cubs. They hissed in unison, tails stiff. Logan nodded. Together, they would face the next wave. The colony held, but the real fight was just beginning, and the horizon promised more danger than anyone could imagine.